morning and welcome to this Japanese food and drink market webinar live from the British Embassy, Tokyo. I'm Akiko Yanagisawa, head of the creative and lifestyle team here at UKTA Japan. I'm delighted to be joined today by Mr. Yasuhide Ishikawa, food and drink advisor to MIPRO, which stands for Manufactured Imports and Investment Promotion Organization. Mr. Ishikawa will give you a presentation entitled Food Exporters Challenge to the Japanese Market. Okay, I'd now like to hand over to Mr. Ishikawa to start his presentation.
Thank you, Akiko-san. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for the webinar. I would like to start my presentation. These are today's agenda. My presentation will be about 20 minutes, and I hope you guys still enjoyed morning tea time after this presentation. The market value is based on the yearbook of the current survey of commerce 2012 by METI, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. And the figures of UK is based on the information from IGD. The retail market balance of UK and Japan seems understandable in terms of the population difference, but wholesale value is quite different, maybe due to the difference in the size of the food service market and distribution system of both countries. Japanese food sufficiency ratio is 39% in supply calorie basis, and that is the lowest among OECD countries. Japanese government has set a challenging target to increase it to 50% by 2020, but even if we reach that target, we will be still a big food importing country. Our food import-export value explained this well. We are sharing same social issues with other developed nations. I explain those through some graphs. This graph needs a bit of explanation. This is the demographic change of the Japan from 1950 till 2060. Japan is in the peak of population today, about 120 million, and it will decrease gradually down to 80 million in 50 years' time. During this 50 years' time, elderly population ratio goes up to 40% from 25% in 2010. Please look at the green line. And working age population in brown with the brown line goes down to 50% from 60% in 2010. Population of 14 under also gradually decrease, reflecting very low birth rate today of about 1.4. Incidentally, birth rate of UK is 1.9. It is said that 2 will be necessary to keep population. This will happen unless Japan adopts some drastic social reformation policy to increase the birth rate and or immigrant policies soon. In terms of the food market, this simply indicates that the number of stomach will decrease by 40 million, and Japan is not such an attractive food market in long term. But this demographic trend is not only in Japan, but also in many developed countries. Japan is the first runner of this group, and things happening in this market will also happen in other matured markets with some time lag. This graph explains how the size of households are getting smaller in Japan, and also the reason why our birth rate is so low. Traditional households of parents and children and 3 generations are decreasing, whereas households of a single member, couple only and single parent are constantly increasing. Women's labor participation is a very important challenge of our society. It is increasing, but we are still behind other OECD countries. As it increases, the Japanese traditional lifestyle of many families will also change. One of the changes is the time for cooking, which is obviously getting shorter. More working women will create new demand for the convenience. Reflecting these social structure changes, these are the consumers' needs and wants in Japan by age group. These trends will be categorized under the keywords of health, elderly people, working women, and nuclear families. Hurdles for food export to Japan. These are the laws relating to food import to Japan. Sorry, but I have to say that food import is much tougher than other items in Japan due to regulations. These tend to be same in other countries. However, sanitation control policy is quite different from one country to another. In case of Japanese food import, is controlled by shoreline, so inspection is very severe, whereas area like EU controls certain food categories such as seafood at food manufacturing facilities, including foreign ones, by their HACCP standard and accrediting the export license to each facilities. So the inspection on the shoreline for seafood, for example, is not so heavy in Europe, but cannot import even 1 kg of seafood without a license and the health certificate of EU form. This is a flow of the general import procedures, except vegetables and meat and so on, just the usual processed food. Prior consultation with quarantine station is very important part of food import process in Japan. Of course, it is voluntarily one, but it is almost imperative in order to make the required documentation perfect and to prepare for the inspection prior to actual import. For this prior consultation, you have to prepare and submit the table of ingredients and additives and the production flowchart to your importer. Actual inspection is not required and checked by just documents if you are lucky. If unlucky, your consignment is picked for random test and undergoes actual inspection by quarantine station. Quarantine station randomly picks consignments on a certain percentage depending on the food category. Although the inspection is imposed for the food category which had frequent violation of the law in certain period. Besides the above inspections, there is voluntary inspection. If you voluntarily take inspection and it is okay, then this result could be reflected to the imports of the same products for 1 year. Among the export cost to Japan, the transport cost is one of the biggest. The transport in EU or European territory are quite a different one to Japan in terms of distance and measures. Maybe trucking is most popular and the cheapest way of transport in EU territory, but this is not an option to Japan at all. Therefore, it must be arranged most appropriate way depending on the 3 different temperature category and the volume of the consignment. Transport is not such a big issue for the big exporters who can transport on FCL basis, but this sometimes big issue for small-scale exporters importers. Even for big players, the initial consignments may be LCL basis for test marketing and sales, so it is important to find the best transportation for small-size consignments. Shelf life. Shelf life is one of the points Japanese consumers watch very carefully. Therefore, there are certain unwritten trading rules in distribution to satisfy the consumers. 1/3 rule is the typical one. If the 1/3 rule is applied to the imported food, the product have to have more than 3 months to 6 months shelf life at least, considering the lead time. Please also keep in your mind that many of the food products are sold to big supermarket chains through wholesalers. So sales and distribution period on this level also has to be considered. Big superstore chains started to experiment of applying half rule to the beverage and snacks only, but it takes some more time to change the rules today, totally. So, food market trend. These are the food-relating hit products in 2013, selected by the Nikkei Trendy magazine. 7 out of best 30 are the food-relating. Number 1 is surprisingly just coffee, sold by convenience stores. It is reportedly said that consumption of coffee was increased by 6% in Japan, owing to these new sales. Self-serving, freshly milled and brewed good quality coffee at reasonable price, 100 yen per cup, 60 pences per cup, has created 45 billion yen, 272 million pounds business to the 7-Eleven Japan only in 2013. Number 9 is Philips non-oil fryer. This instrument is rather big for Japanese small-size kitchen, but the Japanese consumers accepted this inconvenience for health and convenience in cooking. Japan is just like the Netherlands, big consuming country of the fried products. Number 11 is just the bread developed by the 7 Under Holdings, which owns 7-Eleven Japan for their private brand. Concept is high quality and good taste. Price is 50-60% more than NB product, but sales was almost double of the NB top sales product. Number 15 is a stock cube for Japanese pot dish. The concept is not liquid, but cube, and not for standard family, but for nuclear family and all individuals. Number 16 is the vegetable chips. Healthy image of the vegetable attracted older generation consumers, especially women, who are not heavy consumer of the potato snacks. Number 20 is a foshu, food for the specific health use, accredited canned coffee. Heavy consumer of the canned coffee is male, but this foshu coffee attracted female consumers due to its health claim. Number 24, flavored popcorn from USA. Same as foreign origin donuts, pancake, and so on. People are attracted its novelty. Keywords are innovation, health, convenience, high quality, and novelty. Another important thing to know is who is the trend promoter today. I think the convenience store in Japan is one of the hottest trend promoter in retail market today in Japan. Lastly, I would like to ask you to add 2 things to your checklist for entry strategy for Japanese food market. Firstly, flexibility. For example, your product might be required to reformulate due to its severe regulations, very sophisticated and nagging Japanese consumers' taste and expectations, and so on. Can you willingly do that? Secondly, patience. Japanese importers tend to start the business with only a small order in order to test the marketability of the product and also new to market suppliers. In terms of their risks of something going wrong in the food inspection, custom clearance, long labeling, etc. Can you follow them? Rome is not built in a day. Be patient. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ishikawa-san, for your presentation. Now we'd like to move on to Q&A session. The first question is something about direct investment in Japan. I understand that MIPRO, your organization, helps overseas companies to set up business in Japan. What kind of services would be available from MIPRO?
We have one advisor who does that, conduct that service 1 day in every 1 day in a week on a Wednesday afternoon. And also we have a lot of publication about for the new setups, business setups in Japan.
In English?
In English, yes.
And can we download the report from your website?
Yes.
Okay. And your website address was on your last page of your presentation, www.mipro.or.jp?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So please visit if you are interested in MIPRO's inward investment service. And the second question is about Japanese consumers. The question is, what are the real possibilities of attracting Japanese customers into new food from abroad? Japanese people seem very fond of their own food, Japanese food, I think, and the risk is that they will only try once new food for curiosity, but then go back to bashoku, Japanese food, for their daily meals. Yeah. What do you say?
Yes. I explained about hit product in Japan and including popcorn from USA. Washoku is one of the main cuisine of daily life of ours, but variety of ethnic food is also very important cuisine at home and eating out occasions. Japanese are very greedy to find new food.
Okay, so do you think the British authentic food will also appeal to the Japanese consumers?
Certainly, yeah.
Certainly. Oh, that's good. Thank you. And the final question I'd like to ask is about finding partners in Japan. And the question is that we are looking for a partner to act as importer-distributor for retail and food services, online sales, and the partner wishing to help us develop products. What do you think is the best way to find a good partner in Japan?
Of course, Foodex is one of the best opportunity to meet the possible partners in the future. In Japan, grocery distribution wholesalers play very important role. One good wholesaler can connect you to different market sectors, and a lot of wholesalers visit, the Foodex, so it's a very good opportunity, I think. And also, of course, the directory, the operated by the Jetro.
Jetro.
Yeah, that is also very good to meet, to see the opportunities in Japan.
Okay. For those who are not familiar with Jetro, Jetro is equivalent to UKTI for Japanese, for Japan. And they have an office in London as well. And if you visit their website, they offer English information on Japanese food sanitation law and also various procedures, regulatory issues. So you can download also the specific product report. And another related question is, well, you find one partner, but can the UK company deal with another partner for a certain objective, or should they deal with one partner?
Yes, of course you can deal with the several partners. It's depending on your contract. If you have the sole, sales contract with one person for all Japan, That's all. You only have one contract. But you can have a contract with some people for the specified area of Japan. So it's possible.
When you say specified area, is that regional thing or the market segment, for instance, the food services and retail? Or
Maybe regional.
regional?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be more understandable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we close this session, I'd like to touch on our activities for food and drink sector here in Japan. Foodex is the largest food and drink trade show in Japan, and for covering both retail and food services. This year, 2,647 exhibitors from 82 countries and regions we are expecting. And also we are expecting 73,000 trade professionals visiting the show. UKTI Japan will organize UK Pavilion at Foodex. And we are going to have 16 individual exhibitors this year. The names are shown. And we have 16 sample displays who will not be having an individual stand. And also we have a panel display from one company so that their images will be shown at the roof of a pavilion. And we'll conduct on-site research at the UKTI stand. And we're going to have more than 100, we are expecting 150 virtual exhibition. And also UK Pavilion offers demonstrations by professional chefs every day to deliver a real taste of Britain. And also we're going to have a famous UK characters, I cannot tell you who they are, will support exhibitors. This is an image of UK Pavilion. UK food is great. Food is great branded. We also carry out unique B2C campaign titled Food is Great, A Taste of Britain. Together with partner companies, we arrange a lot of opportunities for consumers to purchase, eat, and cook British food and beverages. To purchase, we organize a number of events and promotions at retail. To eat, we work with hotels and food services for special British food fairs by offering our special recipes and introductions of British food suppliers. And to cook, we work with cooking schools and SNS recipe sites for special class and Embassy's kitchen recipes. We also work very closely with press and media and already deliver 2 special British food feature programs. All in all, we've gradually drawn huge attention on British food in the market, which I'm sure to help British suppliers to make inroads into the Japanese market and expand their business. Once again, thank you very much, Ishikawa-san, and all the listeners of today. Goodbye and have a nice day.